bad surgeon.
What it is, every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? And they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds. Because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
Leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Palestinians don't exist.
I didn't get your comment.
Your position is that the Palestinians don't exist. So what are they?
It's an invention. It's an invention that is not as secondary to the important fact that the Jewish nation, that the land of Israel belongs only to one nation, and this is the Jewish nation. The Palestinians are Arabs who try to compete with the big success of the Jews in the land of Israel. And actually, the word Palestine was used by Adrian, the Roman emperor. But the modern Palestinians are Arabs who want the same place that the Jews made a paradise of, they want to take it from us, and
But
we won't let it happen.
But actually what's happening is you want to take their land, isn't it?
Okay, so you make your position, I make mine, and the world will judge. And I mean, it's interesting that when there are historical facts that can be proven, and then you cling to what? I really don't understand what history you represent.
Well, just taking Ms. Weiss, taking your argument to its logical extension, then you believe that Israelis and Jewish people should be entitled to all of the West Bank and all of Gaza. If it's your land, as you say...
Not just all of the West Bank. It's not bank. Bank is a narrow place.
Okay.
It's the major part of the area between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean.
So you would like, just to be clear, you would like all of the land from the river to the sea to be Israeli Jewish, yeah?
I want all the land from the Euphrates to the Nile. What do you mean? Why hide the
I'm just curious
history?
I'm curious what you intend to do with all the Palestinians who currently live there.
Those, you see, I trust, in God I trust. And I live by faith, by Emunah, and by the Bible.
Yeah, but what are you going to do with all the millions of Palestinians? What happens?
I'm telling you, Joshua, the first settlers, he gave me I
don't need a history lesson. I'm just asking you, what do you intend to do with the millions of Palestinians who currently live in Gaza and the West Bank?
Exactly what Joshua did.
What are you going to do with them?
That's exactly what he had. When Joshua came with us from Egypt, he had to cope with 7 peoples who lived here. Why God chose to bring us from Egypt to such a complicated place and not to Canada, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that Joshua said, those who accept our sovereignty, our government, will stay. Those who fight, will fight them. And those who do not accept our sovereignty, our government, they will go to other places. There is a clear formula. So I do not have to
there is a
invent.
clear formula. It's actually
by the Bible.
Yeah, but again, to be clear, your clear formula, there's a legal term for it. It's called ethnic cleansing. What you're saying is if Palestinian people do not subscribe to the fact they should be ruled by Israel and have you as their sovereign state, then they have to leave, right? So 6-7 million Palestinians would have to leave and go and live elsewhere. That's your position.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Kim. Sorry.
I'm Enzo.
I'm Andre Williams.
And tonight on the new party, I gave you a preview for our next topic. We will be talking about the displacement of 800,000 Lebanese people, the oldest Christians in the world. So that will be coming up next, and I'll explain to you how that ties in. But if you're watching, please hit the like button. The first story we are going to talk about tonight is the Counterterrorism Director, Joe Kent, resigning over Iran. This is a clip from everybody's favorite person. Probably not. A lot of people probably hate this guy. Alex Jones explaining it.
Joseph Kent, the director of national intelligence at the National Counterterrorism Center, resigned today. And his letter is so powerful. I'm going to read the whole thing here on air right now. And he's saying everything I've said, everything that Tucker Carlson has said, He was deployed 11 times to combat zones. He lost his wife to this system. And he's there looking at all the national intelligence that Tulsi Gabbard's seeing as well and knows it's a lie. They sent him a report 1 week before he struck 18, 19 days ago with Israel and said, this isn't true. What they're saying about Iran isn't true. This isn't in our national interest. This is a lie. And now we have Trump saying, if you don't support what I'm doing in an unending war, you're basically a Nazi. He said, Mark Levin is my spirit animal. It's a litmus test. If you don't endorse this Israel firster, then you're not MAGA. Well, guess what, Trump? You're not MAGA anymore. You're Make Israel Great Again. It's totally disgusting. Now, I still support Trump overall, controlling the border, trying to end the war with Russia, all the other good things that are happening. That said, he's better than the Democrats, but it doesn't matter. We are still going to put pressure on Trump to not continue to.
Let's address the elephant in the room first. Andre, they going in on you, buddy. They calling you a track star. They saying where you was at. Where were you at on Sunday, Andre? And then I'll let you respond to him first.
I was just getting back from LA. We did a wonderful interview with Mark from Soft White Underbelly. Should be out in the next few weeks. Great interview. Great time in Santa Monica. I had a lot of fun. Man, gas prices over there. Holy shit. And I'll tell you this, the Hispanics have taken over LA. It's, oh my goodness, they're like locusts out there. It's unbelievable. Niggas, you better get together in South Central. I don't know what you niggas, Hispanics took it back. I don't know what niggas are doing out there. I saw a lot of whites and blacks in Santa Monica. I didn't see that many niggas out there in South Central, but that's where I was over the weekend. Had a great time, great flight. Getting back to Detroit, that cold air hit my ass. I was like, holy shit, I want to go back to the beach. I was out there at Venice Beach. Spent a lot of time in North Hollywood. It's great. Great time. So I know we had some shekel grubbers here that were calling my name. Don't worry, we'll come back for the Sheckelsteins and Goldbergs. We don't run from Jews. We stand 10 toes down. So when the Hebes come calling back, we'll be at Temple waiting for them. Outside the synagogue, we'll be waiting. So don't worry. We'll be out there.
Okay. Wow. Enzo, you showed up. You were here. Thank you for coming. We also had Mideast Peace. So shout out to Mideast Peace. Enzo's not Jewish, but he is. And not cool. But anyways, Enzo, what do you think about Kent being fired? What's your thoughts? Or resigning, sorry. Let me correct myself. Resigning. What do you think?
I just think it's funny that he's resigning, saying that Iran's not an imminent threat when his own tweets from 2024 stated otherwise after they foiled the assassination plots against President-elect Donald Trump. It's like, people are making back-end deals and somebody like him was not a part of national security meetings because he was a threat for leaking things. So it is what it is. But this just plays into the anti-Semitic behavior that the United States is just falling into, that everything's for Israel, So here's the thing with this. I just want to call this out for a quote-unquote day one Trump supporter that Andre isn't actually. No, Donald Trump's been very vocal about Iran since 1980, 2011, 2015, 2020, 2024. And yeah, that's all verifiable. I got the tweets, I got the videos, I got everything to prove that. And I just wanted to call that out, Andre, because here's the funny thing. You weren't even old enough to vote in 2016. So I don't know how you could be.
I was in high school getting kicked out of high school because I was very pro-Trump, and anyone who went to school with me or even worked with me knows I've been pro-Trump for the last 10 years.
Hey,
and what he's been doing now is completely what he's been doing has been completely anti-polar to what he ran on in 2015. So there we go. Yeah, Enzo, aren't you like 28? Aren't we like the same? We're in the same generation, buddy.
And hold on, and
exactly. I'm 25
before the election.
I'm 25.
I just call a fake Trump supporter from the beginning.
I'm a fake Trump supporter when he ran on shitting on Obama and even Bush for the disaster of Iraq and Afghanistan, something he campaigned.
Yeah, so then explain to me on his campaign trail how he said he's going to obliterate their nuclear program and pull us out of that bullshit deal, the JCPOA, and said he's going to bomb the shit.
Yes, he was very much against the nuclear deal, but guess what? He was not for going to war. He campaigned on no more wars, no more endless wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Because in 2011
he campaigned on.
he said in 2011 and on the campaign trail, I'm sorry, before he got on the campaign trail in 2015, where he said, if I become president, I will not take the military card off the table when it comes to Iran.
No, actually, he said he shit on all the actions of Obama and Bush for the entirety of the campaign. And even when he was talking, even when he did his roast on Comedy Central, he talked shit about the Obama administration. He talked about it for years. So what are we talking about? He's never been for the wars in the Middle East. I think when he got shot at in 2024, guess what? I told him, like, listen, if you don't play ball with us, if you don't play the Jew ball with us, we're going to shoot you in the face. Either way, Enzo. Here's this. Either way, Enzo. Here's what it is. Hold on. I'm not a bootlicker for Trump. I'm a bootlicker for my country. If anything, I love my country. If we're going to bootlick anything, we're going to bootlick the longevity of our nation. And going to war for Iran. Hold on. Going to war for Iran does not benefit the average American. Going to war for Iran for Israel is not going to benefit you or I. So what are we talking about?
You're a bootlicker for Nick.
I don't give a fuck about Nick Fuentes. You know what? I don't give a damn about Nick. Me and Nick have argued over the years. We go back. If you actually hold on, Enzo, it shows you don't know anything about me. Enzo, when I was running an organization a few years ago, we argued like hell with Groypers. Nick probably doesn't even like me. And other people, a lot of his lieutenants don't like me. Go ask Beardson. We did a debate a few years ago. So you don't know what you're talking about with me. My track record is clean when it comes to supporting certain things and certain individuals. So check that with someone else. You're not talking to a new Negro. You're not talking to a new Negro that just came off the boat. It's like, oh, you know, I'm new to the Republican Party. Mike's been voting Republican for a very long time, buddy. We're not new to it. You may be new to it, but not me.
Okay, all right. We're gonna move on, guys. Guys, we're gonna move on. We got to give other people a chance to talk. Y'all said a whole lot. I mean, let's listen to what President Trump had to say about Mr. Cat.
We don't need oil.
My bad. That wasn't the clip. Hold on. Sorry. We're going to play that one next. Here we go.
Mr. President, your director of national counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you talk
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is what.
Kimberly, you haven't been here. Welcome back. What's your thoughts on Joe Kent resigning? Is it anti-Semitic that he resigned, in your opinion?
No, I think that the attack anti-Semitic is retarded. I am so glad we can say the word retarded again, because that's retarded. And I don't care what he stood for before. I think it's heroic that he's making a stance now. I don't care if he changed his mind. He's right now. I don't mind making friends or allies or reaching across the aisle with people that I disagree with. He's right on this issue. And if Trump or whoever the heck has his balls in their purse, if they were smart, they'd just declare victory and pull out now, because it's only going to get worse. And there's already a lot of people that have died. There's already American blood on his hands. He's completely unprincipled, and he's completely contradicted himself. I mean, I could have told you this a long time ago, but yeah, we need to pull out now. And I read the letter that guy, forgive me, I forgot his name, his resignation letter. It was very beautifully worded. And I hope that it sets a ripple effect and other people have the courage to do the same, because it's heroic. Dissent is the highest form of patriotism. Let's do it. Let's end this now before it gets worse.
Well, this is what Trump had to say about oil, and then I'm going to get Mia in here.
Oil we need for ourselves. It's one of the great assets that we have. We have more than double what anybody else in terms of oil production. We're at more than double any other country. So we don't need it, but we did it. It's almost, you could say we did it out of habit, which is not a good thing to do. But we did it because we have some good allies there. We have some great Middle Eastern countries there, Israel there. So we did it for a lot of reasons. But
Mia, Joe Kent is a decorated war veteran. His wife was unalived in Syria due to an ISIS suicide bomber. Is he anti-Semitic for resigning? And why did we go into Iran? He's saying it's for oil. He's saying it's for this. Do you think he had a valid reason to resign over Iran?
I think whatever reason he comes up with is a valid enough reason for him to resign. Nobody should be forced to do a job that they don't believe in. I'd rather have any person resign regardless of what they are. I don't care if they're a bus driver. I don't care if they're a school teacher. If your heart is not in it, or for whatever reason you're struggling with it and you feel like you cannot do your job to the best of your abilities, you should resign. Whatever reason he comes up with is fine with me. I'd rather have someone resign regardless. And as for being in Iran, I mean, I think we should be in, do I think we should have a war with Iran right now? No, I don't think we should have a war with Iran right now. The majority of Americans are struggling. And, you know, this is going to sound like an asshole thing to say, but I don't think Americans should die so Iranian women can wear bikinis in the streets. I'm going to be real honest, bro. I don't think American blood should be spilled so some bitches can wear bikinis in the streets. No offense to them. I'm sure they're great. They're smart. They're engineers. They're doctors. They're lawyers. They're great. I have nothing against them. But I do not feel that American blood should be spilled so some bitches don't have to wear a hijab and wear a bikini in the streets. That is not a good enough reason for me. That is not a good enough reason for me. That's what everybody says. They're like, oh, well, the women are oppressed. Bitch, women are oppressed everywhere. I would rather us go into Cuba. To be honest, I would rather us go into Cuba. That is our hemisphere. They are our neighbor. Strategically, it makes more sense. I mean, those people are starving over there and now they have no power. I would rather us go into Cuba. It makes much more sense to me strategically. Legitimately, it's our neighbor. We should control our hemisphere if we're looking at tactical and military advantage. We should control our hemisphere, which is the same reason why I supported Greenland. It's still in our purview. However, I still don't think we have way too many problems here right now to be having American soldiers die for some bitches in bikinis in Iran. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, they can, if they really want to be without hijabs and they really want to be in bikinis in the streets, they can fight motherfuckers themselves. I'm sorry. It's all, there's 92 million of them. Why can't they overthrow their own government? That's a lot of people.
Gray, you were a veteran. Thank you for your service. Joe Kent served over 20 years in the military, and I've heard some people say some pretty disgusting, unpatriotic things against him today, all because he doesn't ideologically agree with what's happening. Is he anti-Semitic? And what do you think about the attacks that I've been hearing on him? And I'm sure you've seen scrolling through social media.
Well, what I think a lot of people don't know is that his wife died going after terrorists. I don't know what her name is. I'll try to find it, put it in the chat. But his wife died going against terrorists. She was a veteran as well. So the fact that his own wife lost her life fighting for America, I think someone should look at him as a patriot and look at what he sacrificed. Yeah, exactly. So to say that, you know, he's doing this for whatever personal gain or if it's against Trump, I do feel like if someone has lost someone so close to them due to war, that they may feel more passionate about being anti-war, doing military things strategically rather than just doing things that don't make sense. So me personally, I don't want to attack his credibility or say that he's not truly a patriot or cares about his country.
I mean, you guys see it in the chat. We have a super chat. Andre, I'll let you address before we go to the next topic. Iron Cowboy said, Andre, where can I get a pair of the Roadrunner 300 shack shoes with all that running you do? Jesus. Andre, what's your response? You're muted there.
I don't respond to homosexuals. You know, I don't respond to, you know, gay cowboys probably sitting somewhere in a fag bar right now. I really don't care what he has to say. I'm sure you've got a lot of mileage on your asshole, my buddy. Please keep that gay shit over there. Anyway, I don't know why people are saying that Joe Kent is like a coward or not a patriot. I don't like that he resigned. I think he should have stayed in office and continued to fight the good fight and push his message instead of getting out of office. I don't think that he should have resigned whatsoever. But he's going to do it. I don't even think that Marjorie Taylor Greene should have resigned. I find it to be very weak. I think they should have stayed in and continued to fight. But I think they fear the primary they're going to get, the campaigning against them, which I honestly don't think they should really fear that. I think they should go down fighting instead of, running and resigning. But, that's on them. That's fine. And respect for them for what they're going to do. But, all these bootlickers will sit back and call him and say that he's a traitor to the country. But all these same people won't go and fight this war when it gets bad and have no reason. They have no good, clear reason for why we should be in this war. Oh, where they're going to get nukes. Well, Israel has nukes. And Pakistan, an Islamic country that harbored Osama bin Laden and various other terrorist groups, has nuclear weapons. And these people, like I said, they even fucking wash their ass properly in Pakistan, but they have nukes. So let's be honest with that. This is about the ballistic missile program that Iran has. It's a threat to Israel. It's about the drone program that's supplying the Russians and even the Chinese. That's a threat to Israel. And Israel wants to become a regional power like they've been doing since forever now. And like they've planned out and pushed in the 1993 clean break memo. So we're seeing all this come into fruition, and it's disgusting. And the Jews who are pushing this, and even their lapdogs, both Democrat and Republican, whether they be white or black, where we've seen a lot of these black Republicans pushing it, these disgusting fucks like Westcott America and what's that African that was on it, Denziwo, whatever the hell he was playing in the clip earlier. Tanish Peter, Brandon Tatum, all these bootlickers, these Jewish pets, they're pushing for war, but they won't go out and fight it them damn selves while the rest of us sit here and suffer with it. So fuck all these people. Shout out to Joe Kent. I think he should never resign. I think he should have stayed in office.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Andre, you said a whole lot. We're going to move on to Lebanon. Okay, guys. Lebanon. Very, very sad what's happening in poor Lebanon. Here we go. This young lady explains a little bit.
Reporting to you from Mer Jayoun. Behind me is the town of Khiam, where all night long the resistance has been fighting off the Israeli army. They're still fighting now. There are gunshots and sounds of shelling, and as you can see behind me, there is a large fire which appears to maybe be a tank. This is only speculation. I'm trying to assess what it is from the color of the smoke. It looks like a tank fire. Last night, the resistance was successful in repelling multiple deep incursion attempts by the Israeli army from Hamames Hill, which you can also see in the distance there. That is an illegal occupation point for the IDF. And I'm going to give you a rundown of yesterday's resistance operations. There were 25 operations, 13 inside occupied Palestine and 12 inside Lebanon. Using rockets, guided missiles, and drones, the resistance targeted 5 military bases, 5 cities, 4 border sites, 1 military barracks, and 1 military factory, and repelled 9 advancement attempts. Confirmed enemy losses were 3 military vehicles, 13 bunkers and fortifications, 5 settlements, 5 command centers, and 1 military factory. It doesn't seem like the fighting is going to end here anytime soon. I'd also like to add that last night, the Israeli army was captured on video dropping white phosphorus over the town of Khiam. White phosphorus is a banned substance. This is chemical warfare. Americans, your tax dollars are funding chemical warfare. This is a war crime.
So I don't know how true this is, what she's saying. Mia, I know you research a lot of stuff. Have you been keeping up with what's going on in Lebanon? What's your thoughts?
I haven't been keeping up too much for what's going on in Lebanon, only because I just got off a 48 stretch of hours at work. So this is my first day off in what feels like forever. But yeah, I mean, Israel wants what Israel wants. They want to be in control of the Middle East, and for their security purposes, they're going to go everywhere. They have their eye on Turkey. They have their eye everywhere they want to go. So, Israel's going to get what they want. And if they don't, they're going to do the Samson option, and they're going to nuke everybody and take themselves out. That's basically what's going to happen. They are going to push and 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 push, because Israelis only think about Israelis, and they think they own the entire section. They think they're the only religious people that should survive in that entire section. They treat Christians like shit. They treat Muslims like shit. They have their own hierarchy within Israel that they treat like shit, and they actually have their own case system there. But we won't digress into that because that will go into colorism. because, you know, it seems to be half the people on top in Israel are of European descent. They are not actually 100% Semitic because, you know, those people are at the bottom. But I digress to that. It's unfortunate, and you know, our tax dollars are complicit in this. So I guess more winning. Let's keep contributing. But 14 million kids are starving in the United States. Don't forget that. That's a daily thing.
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much, guys, before I play the next clip and go to the next person, there is a massive displacement going on in Lebanon. Hezbollah has launched rockets towards Israel, and this is Israel's retaliation. They've done major airstrikes back. They've sent leaflets out. They said, we need you guys to evacuate areas. And over 800,000 people have now been evacuated from their homes in about 10 days. About 1 in every 7 people in Lebanon have been evacuated. Children, families, some of the oldest Christians in the world are from Lebanon. So for everyone that doesn't care that's a Christian, you should care, because I've heard people say, well, I don't care about Muslims. Christians, the oldest Christians, are being impacted. And Andre, you laugh, but you hang out with the homeboy that was over there acting crazy. He friends with Laura Loomer.
I didn't even laugh at that. I was laughing at the super chat. Hey, shout out to the first off, fuck that Jew, by the way. Yeah, fuck that Jew, Jake Lang, a pedophile. Fuck him, by the way, for the shit that's come out. Cannot fuck with that at all. Ben, stop running with him for a minute. Cannot disavow.
Weren't you just at a whatever it was with him like 3 months ago? Now it's fuck him.
Yeah, I don't like pedophiles. Can I not like pedophiles? Can I like people that fuck kids?
You were hanging out with him. You were hanging out with him.
Was I supposed to know? Was I supposed to know he was fucking kids when I was there? Like, did you fuck kids today, Jake? Were there any kids in your bedroom, Jake?
I'm not even talking about.
You see how Jewish he is with this? You see how Jewish Enzo gets? Is like, listen, what you just hanging out with him a week ago?
This is what I mean.
Okay.
This is what I mean. You stand for nothing.
Can I not change my opinion on someone?
This is what I mean.
Can I? So if I find out that someone, Enzo, if I find out that someone murders somebody, right? And I didn't know this, and they're like, "Oh, guess what? He just murdered somebody." Can I distance myself from that person? Can I not be with that person anymore? Am I allowed to move myself from him?
Him being a Jew. Now it's fuck him, that Jew. That's what I'm pointing out.
Yeah, I told Jake that. I got text messages of that as well. I didn't like when I found out he was a Jew because he lied about that. That was one thing.
What did he say when you asked him? I'm curious.
When he came out and admitted to me and the other guy I was working with, Jaden Scott, shout out to my homeboy. He admitted, like, yeah, I'm a Jew. I didn't, because we didn't know that he was a Jew, honestly. Didn't know until after. And it's like, okay, whatever, you know, who gives a fuck? But I didn't know he was doing all this other gay shit, you know, with the protests and everything. It's very performative. And almost got some guys killed. And I've talked to a lot of guys that went out there. And I told them, like, yeah, we got to get away from Jake. That's not a fucking good look. And all the performative shit after the Minnesota, not a good look. I told a lot of people that were around him, get away from that shit. Not really. Because the last time I was with him was early January of this year. And that was like my last time. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. This is performative as fuck. I'm not doing this. I'm done with that. And I really haven't been in contact ever since. So not a big fan of Jake Lang when it comes to the fucking with kids and doing all the performative shit. It's just not working. So simple as that.
We're going to read some super chats and I'll get Enzo to respond next. Iron said to you and Andre, aren't you on the side that supports gays, Andre? I don't know where he got that from, Andre, but
I don't know where he's talking about.
That guy's a fucking faggot, so he supports him.
Yeah, the fucking cowboy, he's gay.
No,
I don't support homosexuals.
The ones that scream it the most are the ones that got something in their closet, like Jake Lang calling out pedophiles all the time, coming out to be a pedophile. You screaming out gay people all the time. I don't know. Maybe we got to check your fucking browser history.
There's nothing wrong with being gay.
Well, no, obviously there is.
Wrong with being gay. There's a lot. There's a big lot that there is with being gay. We have to talk about that. That's the next conversation we've got to have someday.
We're going to keep it on the Christians that are being displaced. We're not wading into that game. We're not wading in. We're going to keep it on the Christians that are being
demon
displaced.
time. Not till after Easter or Resurrection Sunday. Anyway.
Right. Okay.
Kitty Daddy said, I'm barely allowed to share my mind. He said that on your side. So thank you, Kitty Daddy, for Andre. Andre, why are you the biggest anti-Semite I've ever seen? Are you mad because the Jews have more money than you? That was funny.
probably a Jew mad. Like, are you mad that we've got more money than you, Goy? It's like, I don't give a fuck, Eve. I don't really care. I'm calling it as it is. You know, you may not like I do. Listen, you know what the funny thing is? When I talk about niggas, all the Jews love me. They like, oh, great, he's talking about the nigga problem. But the moment I start talking about them, it's like, no, you're an anti-Semite. You're a nigga. I can't stand you. They're in my comments and my DMs. You nigga, we don't like you anymore. And it's like, okay, all right, I see where it is. You love it when I play ball for you, but the moment I put the sights on you, it's a problem.
And Kitty Daddy sent another one for you, Andre. He says, is it too racist to say Iranians are Aryan? Andre, that would be a question for you and maybe Kim, because you guys were talking about race earlier.
I know it's not racist at all. I don't know why you would say it's racist, but
I don't think Iranians are Aryan.
I don't think they're Aryan. Persians are not.
Persian.
No.
There's a lot of history genetically that would align them.
It's not even that. It's the leader that was around during the 40s was very aligned with the Nazi Party and Hitler at that time. That's what they're.
That's true. That's true. All right, guys, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna, well, not switch gears. We'll stay on the same topic, but stick to the topic. Enzo, this clip I'll have you react to. This is about Al-Qaeda and saying what they said recently.
News: Al-Qaeda has announced they will be joining the war in the coming days, and they're going to be helping, guess who? Israel. They are backing Israel in this conflict. What does that tell you about Al-Qaeda and who they really work for? It's something I've known, I think we all have known for a long time, but this kind of really confirms it. Al-Qaeda, a Sunni group, is coming to fight Shiites for Israel, even though Israel has killed almost 100,000 Sunnis in Palestine these past couple of years. And they're coming to Lebanon to fight a militia group that helped those same Sunnis in Palestine. As expected, right? Doesn't this information make you wonder who's really behind 9/11? Anyway, back to Lebanon. Hezbollah yesterday launched a missile with pinpoint accuracy and took out a satellite station in Israel that was used for communication and espionage. At the border, the southern border, Hezbollah has so far resisted Israel trying to come into southern Lebanon. Israeli troops are still inside Lebanon in forward positions, but not advancing deep. The BBC reported today that Hezbollah missiles are reaching Tel Aviv without the sirens going off. Israel is getting hit from all kinds of directions. In Iraq, the resistance there said they are ready to advance to Syria to protect Lebanon if Syria's president decides to get involved in this war and help out Israel. Iran said they're also ready for airstrikes for the same reasons. Just yesterday, Jolani announced his support for the Lebanese government to disarm Hezbollah. I guess he forgot the whooping he received from Hezbollah over a decade ago in Syria. I think he's ready for another one. Today, Israel is still bombing South Beirut and southern Lebanon. So far, they've killed 486, and the casualties from today are in the double digits. We don't have an exact number yet. Stay tuned for more updates.
Enzo, what's your thoughts about what he said about Al-Qaeda stepping in to assist Israel? Does it show that they've been funded and paid by Israel? Is there a connection? Because that's what a lot of people say, that through proxy groups, they fund a lot of these terrorist groups and in turn create destabilization in these Middle Eastern countries. Is it true? Is it a lie? What's your thoughts?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. They're going to take out a common enemy, which is Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran. That's what they're going to do. And then they're going to fight it out themselves in the end for control. I'm not going to sit here and say that Israel's paid by Al-Qaeda, or Al-Qaeda is paid by Israel for anything connected to 9/11. Alliances change all the time. There's plenty of enemies that used to be the United States that now are our friends, that are friends of ours that are now our enemies. Same thing with groups that we used to fund. Shit, Iran-Contra. We used to help out the fucking Iranians back in the day. Now they hate us. Things change. Timelines change. It's been nearly 20-something years since 9/11. So I'm not going to sit here and say just because now they're helping out fight Hezbollah, that means in 2001, Israel is behind 9/11 with the secret bombs that were placed in the building and all this dumb shit that everybody just keeps throwing out of the woodworks to see what sticks when there's no verifiable proof behind any of it. Trust me, I got questions about 9/11, but none of them will lead to Israel or the Jews. The stupidest shit. Just low IQ takes for everything on that. That's all I'm going to say. I would love for somebody to bring me any type of verifiable proof on any of that. Any plausible truth.
They can't.
Oh man.
What's
Well,
so funny, Steve Urkel?
bring it Sunday, Andre. Bring it Sunday because we doing part 2 of the debate. It's gonna be Enzo and Minnie's piece versus Andre. We got some surprises coming. It's gonna be a good debate. So please show up for the debate. And Andre, you can bring the facts that night, okay? Because I'm not trying to have that party here.
1000%.
Yes, bring that.
He's never brought a fact in his entire life, so I mean that's gonna be hard for him.
I like how Enzo liked me before, but now because I'm not pro-Jew,
No,
he's
I
like,
never
oh,
liked you.
bad.
I never. Hold on, I'm gonna be real with you.
Bro,
I tolerated you. I never liked you. I thought you were.
There we go. So he was being fake the entire time.
No, I wasn't
He's being
fake.
fake from the entire
I was
time.
cordial. Now
Not
you're straight up.
the entire time.
No. I was cordial. I was cordial for the podcast purposes.
Okay. Why didn't you keep the same energy when you first met me? I like people that keep the same energy when they meet me. And
I did keep the same energy.
Y'all
I was
still
as real
got
as
a
you
debate
are.
on Sunday. Y'all still
If
got
I were,
I got no respect. I got no respect for hateful people. And I'm gonna let you hear it.
he's going to jump out some. Let me just stop. He's going to jump out some.
Didn't
Italian
do
jump out.
anything to anybody, all right? Lebanon hasn't hurt anybody. The only thing you could possibly say about Lebanon is that internally they have a militia movement. It's not the Lebanese government. It's not Lebanon as a people. There is a militia inside Lebanon called Hezbollah that does not allow Israel to take over Lebanon. And that's their purpose, and that's what they do, and that's what they've always done. What is the justification? I mean, any of the justifications, I don't think they're valid, but any of the ones that are applied to Iran, they certainly don't apply to Lebanon. What Israel did to Gaza wasn't, a valid response to October 7th, but at least there was October 7th. At least there was some sort of inciting incident. What is the inciting incident with Lebanon? They just exist. They just happen to live there where they have lived for 5,000 years. I mean, what is the danger they pose? What is the threat? Are they getting nuclear weapons? Do they have a ballistic missile program that we have to defend against? Or did they storm into Israel and kill 1,000 people and take 100 hostages? No. So they just live next to Israel. So therefore, they should all be murdered. They should all be turned to dust. They made the bad decision of being born where Israel wants to be. So now they have to suffer the consequences from it. Here is opposition leader of Israel, Yair Lapid, talking about what they should do to innocent neighbor Lebanon. Let's watch. He says, regarding Lebanon, I'll even go a little farther than what Ram said. I think that in the end, we'll have no choice but to try to create some kind of sterile zone in southern Lebanon. Not huge, but something a little like the yellow line in Gaza. That is an area in which there are no Lebanese villages, but is completely clean territory between the last Lebanese and the first Israeli settlement. I was in Metula and Kiryat Shimona today. They can't continue to live like this. There is a limit. And yes, it would be unesthetic. Evil is what he means. It would not be pleasant to scrape off 2 or 3 Lebanese villages, but they brought this on themselves. It's their problem. They exist. So no one told them to become the guest state of a terrorist organization.
Kimberly, what do you think about what you just heard? And while you're talking, I'm going to play what Gaza looks like now, because it sounds like this is all part of the rumored Greater Israel project. And I know people like to say, well, yeah, I know people like to deny. They say you're anti-Semitic when you say that, but it is fact. The IDF wears patches with the Greater Israel project, and it includes a part of Lebanon. So go ahead and continue. And if you see it playing on the screen, that's why.
Yeah. It's not anti-Semitic. That's why I try not to delve into like the religious argument, especially with like my Jewish Zionist friends. Like any religious argument, it begins and ends with completely illogical reasons. So just based off of like logic and morals, it's wrong. It is the Greater Israel Project. You don't have to take my word for it. They literally say that themselves. Like Nora said, IDF soldiers wear the Greater Israel patches on their uniform, but all of their leaders, the Quds party and within the Israeli government, that's what they say they want. Like the lady that you played at the beginning of this show on the Piers Morgan show, that's completely unhinged, but that's how a lot of people think. And it really is sad, because some of the greatest advocates against the Greater Israel Project are my Jewish friends, like Jewish Voices for Peace, If Not Now, Org, Glenn Greenwald, Dave Smith. I mean, I could go on. Gabor Mate. There's so many. Medea Benjamin. So for me, it's just the argument is lost when you try to go at it with the religious point of view. You're not really going to get people at the religious point of view, and you're not going to really get people who are like super partisan, culty, like super just Trump is right no matter what. That's illogical. It's unprincipled. And what they're doing in Lebanon, they've been planning to do to Lebanon for a long time, and it's very sad. I actually have Lebanese friends. One of my Lebanese friends lives in Hawaii. My family's from Hawaii. And she's been trying to get her grandparents over here for a long time. And she can't. And they're not safe. And it's really sad. I have Jordanian friends who can't sponsor their family for visas to come over here. It's just really sad. They're forcing these people into these predicaments and then also not allowing them to leave. So it's literally just in order to get the Greater Israel Project accomplished, you have to kill people. That's why it's wrong. Killing people is wrong, full stop. So you can try to make sense of it with, well, it's a threat and this and that. There's no greater threat than the United States empire. We are the biggest exporters of terrorism in the fucking world. So economic sanctions alone killed 38 million people since 1970. I've said that ad nauseum, and I'm going to keep saying it. That's not even force, right, of hand. That's not right, make might. We kill people with bombs too. So I think it's just wrong. And I think what they use the religious argument for, again, I'm not one to punch down at voters, but it's to get the people to fall in line, to get them to agree with the ruling elite, because there's layers. But the ruling elite have, and they always will have, control, and that's what they want. They want control, they want power, they want this land because it just makes them richer. And these are also the people who own trillion-dollar bunkers and underground cities. So they're going to be just fine. We're not.
Gray, what's your thoughts on what's going on? Is this Gaza 2.0, or do you think it's just retaliation for what Hezbollah did as somebody that served in Iraq?
Well, I mean, I feel like Iraq was kind of different. It was basically we were going after Al-Qaeda. That was a terrorist organization, and it wasn't like we were meeting up with people. And I feel like this is different with Iran, where it's an actual army and, you know, they're fighting against each other so they can know each other's location. So it's much more complex than when I was deployed. So what I'm looking at is a humanitarian crisis from what you're saying, because you're saying these people got displaced and that they're homeless. So that's what I'm looking at as far as what war is causing and people having to move. And the same thing with Gaza, like over a span of time, we kept hearing them say, oh, we're going to move them from the West Bank. And then they kept taking land slowly and slowly and slowly. So it's more of a humanitarian crisis, if you're asking me.
Okay, guys, before we move on, we're going to read some super chats. Iron said, Andre, if it wasn't for cowboys, you wouldn't have beef because your A wouldn't work cattle. Oh, so he's saying you better appreciate him, which we do appreciate our cowboys. You wouldn't have beef. Do you like beef, Andre? That's what he's saying. You better appreciate him because he's helping get the beef.
Do like the beef. I do like the beef, but nigga, you're damn right I would be working cattle. I'm a house nigga. We gonna be in the house, nigga. I'm gonna get some plates. The fuck is you talking about? Nah, fuck that. I would have been running away. Fuck that shit. I really don't care. You know, let him have his fun. A good thing he's donating to you guys. Let him talk his shit. I'm just kind of gonna ignore the shit for now.
And Andre, this is a fan of yours, Kitty Daddy. Thank you, Kitty Daddy. He said left and right truce for like 2 years. I think he said that when you were talking, Kim. We have one enemy. So he said he'll unite with you, Kim, for 2 years. You got one enemy. And I'm sure I could put 2 and 2 together. I'm sure the chat can too.
I would love to call on all the populist left and the populist right to band together.
Yep. We need
all right, so we're gonna move on. Hopefully we can all laugh at Laura Loomer. I mean, I hope, because she's a witch. She apologizes to India. She went over there to India after she talked big shit in December 2024. She called Indians and said they stink, She attacked Indians, and then she had to apologize. I don't agree. I denounce what Laura Loomer said, but I'm just telling you what she said. Here we go, her eating shit. Let's watch.
And Islamophobic. And I'm sorry to say that we have Atiti Devo Bhava in this country where we welcome all, but your comments smack of anti-Indianism,
You're telling me
Islamophobia, and even worse, racism, which has no place, ma'am, in today's world. So get real, ma'am. Sorry to say that, but that comments are unacceptable to me as an Indian and as a world citizen.
Imagine the smell in there.
Call center. You then went on to say our country was built by white Europeans, not third world invaders from India. I think you should do more than just express regret.
Oh, W those people though. W for them. But let me tell you what's going on, guys. Her purpose there was to go and spread Islamophobic, anti-Muslim hate, but they put her in her place. They said, we don't want that here. We don't agree with that here. Kimberly, what's your thoughts? You were like, oh my gosh, Andre, what do you think about them going in on her? Do you think she deserves it, or do you think that it was just too much?
I think Andre is a comedian. I'm pretty sure half the shit he says, he's joking. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I love racist jokes, but I just can't tell. Oh my gosh, that's so evil. Okay, so she did go to try to conversation for another day. She did go to try to spread Islamophobia because apparently there's like a faction in India that are nationalists that are also similar to like the nationalist Israelis want to like band together a certain group of people in India because they're also, you know, they also have their political ideologies and beliefs. They're not a monolith. She has said some crazy shit. So she deserved that ass beating. She really did. She has said some, like, I think even when Kamala was running, she said something about, I can't imagine what, if we vote Kamala in, the White House will smell like curry or something like that. I personally love curry, but it's, you know, the context of which you say things. Like, you can say, like, if I were to say that joke, it would be funny, right? But she said the joke, so it's not funny. It's hateful.
It is hateful. Very. Yeah, because she's a hateful
101.
person. She says a lot of hateful things, but this is what she had to say about America First, and I'm going to get Enzo in here.
American dream only white.
No, the American dream isn't only white, but the United States of America is a majority white Christian country. And I say this as a Jewish woman. And we are rapidly watching demographics become our destiny. Your demographics are your destiny at the end of the day. And just like people in India want to maintain their heritage and their culture, you certainly don't want to be conquered. You don't want to be taken over. You don't want to be replaced. People in America also don't want our culture and our history and our nation to be conquered and replaced. And I think that it's important for people of all cultures and all backgrounds, wherever you're from, you should be advocating for your interests.
I didn't hear that one.
You advocate for India first. I'm an American. I advocate for America first. And I believe that America should remain a majority white Christian country.
So, you know, I host a show called India First. You believe in America first. Do you see a common meeting ground, you know, your conversations with President Trump regarding Prime Minister Narendra Modi? You just, you know, read out a portion of your conversation with President Trump. Shall the twain meet? So, for example, you're sitting exactly where Ambassador Sergio Gore was sitting yesterday, and he spoke of how India and America are working close on a critical minerals deal or a trade deal. But some of the comments that come from America are so harsh that they're very unpalatable.
Right.
So where is that common meeting ground?
Well, look, I think that the strategic partnership that the United States has with India and also with Israel is one of the strongest, if not the strongest partnership in the world. And it's something that I value, I treasure, and I think that more Americans are going to come to appreciate over time. But
look, a lot of animosity is felt by the American people as it pertains to the H-1B visa program. When President Trump first campaigned for office, when he was running for president in 2015 and 2016, he said that we need to end the H-1B visa program and the abuses with the H-1B visa program. He's on video saying this. And when you have American students, education here in India is free. Okay, in the United States of America, you have to pay $60,000, $70,000 to $80,000 a year just to get a degree in the United States, depending on where you go to school. So how do you think Americans feel, young Americans feel, when these big tech social media companies tell them, you're not the best and brightest. We have to import people from China and India to fulfill these jobs, and we don't care if you spent $120,000 and went into debt for the rest of your life trying to get an education. I think that you would see a lot of that resentment and some of those negative, harsh comments decrease if we could have a respectful conversation about American immigration policy and also labor laws and ways that we can work together, the United States of America and India, in combating the exploitation of the H-1B visa program, because we need to give jobs to Americans as well. We can't allow, especially in the age of the AI revolution, where, you know, we're going to see massive unemployment as a result of AI being ushered in.
So
I think it's important
because AI is also an enabler, but you know, that's another debate. As far as H-1B visas are concerned, one, highly skilled labor or those jobs that cannot be fulfilled by the Americans, those are jobs that are coming in, and that benefits American companies too. They make money, but those harsh comments, some of those comments that came from you, or that anti-India criticism, or that feeling against India, doesn't that create bad blood between the two people who've otherwise had a great relationship over decades?
I think what creates bad blood is a sense of entitlement, and a sense of entitlement and disrespect towards American students and American people who have worked very hard and are now suffering unemployment. They're suffering unemployment, and they're being told by executives of companies that they've aspired to work for their entire lives that they are not the best and brightest. And that's the terminology that is used. The best and brightest needs to be imported. And we have intelligent people, we have smart people, we have talented people in the United States of America who can also take those jobs. And I truly believe that if we're able to have a cordial debate and have understanding from the government of India and the people of India, that, you know, the American people just want to have employment.
Enzo, she said a whole lot. First, she said that this is a white country, a white Christian country. I'll let you respond to that. But the bigger thing is, I do agree with her to some extent. These people go to college. I graduated from the University of Central Florida. I'll never forget it. People graduating 5-6 year engineering degrees, standing in the longest line in the room at the job fair was these engineer firms. And there was only 3 of them that came. And I felt my heart broke for them because they couldn't find jobs, and they ended up working at Starbucks, some of them, because that's the only work that they could have. As somebody that's part of the cusp of Gen Z, young millennial, what do you think about what she said? Do you know anyone that's job has been replaced by, you know, job outsourcing, or do you think she's just being racist?
I don't know anybody being their jobs being outsourced by people in other countries. More or less people getting jobs replaced by AI. That's the biggest issue. I like the step forward that Trump took at the beginning of his second term with when the H-1B visas, upping the fees for H-1B visas from, I think it was $2,500 per visa to $100,000 per visa now. And when I started looking everything up, the average person that would come in on an H-1B visa would be getting paid less than $100,000 for that job. It doesn't make logistical sense for companies to keep importing people to be paying them less than what it would cost them to pay for that visa for them to get into that job. So, I mean, in the long run, we will see what it does. If it brings in more people because of the cost or brings in less people because of the cost, the jury's still out on that. When she talks about a white majority country, I mean, sure, if you want to go back to that, then start conserving values from the United States that we wrote laws to get rid of, if that's the case. The United States is a melting pot. I'm all for anybody and everybody coming to this country as long as you come here the legal way. That's it. That's the only thing that matters when you come to America. Just come here legally and nobody gives a fuck. Leave it at that.
Gray, what do you think about what she said? Is America a white country? And do you think that H-1B visas were eliminating American workers?
Yeah, it's a white country. This is their country. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be on eggshells with what you're doing in their country. So what I would say is that racism isn't gonna disappear. It's gonna be a big thing. So nationalism, populism are big things. Where with the MAGA movement, you've seen people saying like, we want, our people. Even if everyone's saying it, I'm not saying everyone is saying it, but even though everyone's saying it, doesn't necessarily mean, hey, we want America white. It comes off that way. So that's my thoughts on it.
Gray said he don't want to. He said he don't want to white. He wants Indians to come here and replace people's jobs, honey. Here we go.
Decrease in some of those harsh comments online.
Laura, can we address the elephant in the room? First up, would you want some water or are you carrying your own?
Oh, I think I'm fine. Yeah.
You're good? Okay,
yeah.
Great. So there have been certain tweets, Laura, which, because you're in India right now, and you know what you've done, and let me say this, it's a feat. Because by the virtue of those tweets, you've done the impossible. You've got the left in India and the right in India come together and being uncomfortable with those tweets. So in that way, there's a lot to thank you because that rarely ever happens in India.
Wow.
But they've come together in the criticism, Laura, of some of your tweets earlier. You've deleted most of them. On what you perceive is your image of India and Indians. Do you regret it? Because you deleted them. So that's why I ask you.
Well, Twitter deleted some of them. I had no choice but to delete some of them because Twitter actually locked my account, believe it or not. In the aftermath of that, they actually, restricted my account in December. This is what I'll say. I'm not going to apologize for my comments about the H-1B visa program because my job is to speak for Americans and to stand up for American interests. And our immigration laws have been exploited and abused, and our labor laws have also been exploited and abused. And I'm going to continue being an advocate and a fighter for American workers who are struggling to find employment because they're told they're not the best and the brightest in a field, right, in Silicon Valley and tech that is dominated by over 70% imported foreign labor, mostly from China and India. What I will say is that I shouldn't have said some of the things that I said in the other tweets, not about H-1B, and I apologize if my remarks offended people. And I'm here in India this week, and I'm spending several days in India where I'm going to be, traveling the country. I'm very excited to be here. Everybody's been, very friendly. I'm very happy to be able to experience India myself. But I will say I don't have hatred in my heart for India or Hindu people. I'm an advocate for Hindus. I speak out against the brutality of Islam that has persecuted millions of Hindus around the world. And I don't come from a place of hatred. My comments come from a place of love for my people and my country.
Where do you see India-US relations go from this place? And personally, I believe you have some good news to share even on the personal front. I believe you plan to travel to different parts of the country now.
Yeah, I actually brought my fiance with me. I just recently got engaged, so I'm getting married. And I thought, wow, it'd be really great to do my engagement photos at the Taj Mahal. So I'm going to do some photos at the Taj Mahal for my engagement. It'll be exciting.
Well, congratulations, Laura, on that, on your engagement.
Thank you.
And because I am a journalist, so allow me to paraphrase. So you correctly, with what you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you are, where your stand on H-1B visas are, and you don't apologize, you're right, but for certain tweets which hurt the sentiment of the Indian community, you wish you hadn't said those.
Yes, I don't apologize for my tweets about H-1B because I do believe that it was very disrespectful the way that these big tech social media executives who have predominantly always been Democrat, then they wrote these big checks to President Trump and his administration thinking that they were going to be able to buy influence and come into the Republican Party and the MAGA movement, and that we were going to forget their support for open borders policies and their support for importing labor and their disrespect of the MAGA conservative base. I'm not apologizing for that, but the other comments, yes, I should not have said them, and I hope hope that people will be able to judge me by the advocate that I've always shown myself to be for
they
Hindu
will,
people.
because India is a really warm country.
Yes.
And they're going to embrace you. You're going to Taj Mahal. You're going to have a fabulous time. They're going to love you and your fiance, because that's what we do. We have a lot of love.
Yes,
to
and
forgive as well.
I've seen that. I've felt a lot of love here in India, and I look forward. I hope to be able to come back to India in the future.
I gotta say, I've always felt nothing but love from Indians. We have a lot of Indians here in Central Florida. But anyways, side note, Mia, what's your thoughts on everything you heard? Would you have stood 10 toes down, or would you have said, no, I'm so sorry? Do you think she means it? Do you think she was scared? What do you think?
I think she's a bitch. I think she's a bitch. She didn't even apologize. She did like the word. She didn't even apologize. She says, I'm sorry that you were offended. That's not an apology. That's, I recognize that what I said was offensive to you. I'm not sorry for that. I recognize I offended you. I mean, what? She's crazy, dude. She's crazy. And honestly, I hope she has a terrible time. I hope they treat her like shit, because she doesn't deserve it, dude. I agree with her with the H-1B visas for sure, hands down. Totally understand where she's coming from, and I understand her accuracy in that for sure, hands down. No problem with that. But I hope that they treat her how she would treat them if nobody was looking. Because that is the test. That is the litmus test of the morality. And we all know the kind of person that she is. She said it 10 toes down with her chest on that stage. So, I mean, I hope she has a terrible time. I hope she drinks the water. I hope she has diarrhea for days. And I hope her fiance gets sick too. Because that would be the karma that she gets for her being such a terrible person, for disparaging a group of people from a civilization far more ancient than her bloodline will ever know. I mean, Indians are super nice, super warm, super hardworking. I work with a ton of them in the medical field, and I have nothing but good things to say. It hurts me when people talk crap about Indians, because they are nice. They are super warm. They're fantastic workers. They work hard. And to be honest, I mean, it's crazy to me that she be on some crazy shit like that. So I hope she has a bad time.
Oh my God. Okay. Andre, let's hear it. You've been very quiet. Let's go. Should she have apologized, or should she have stood 10 toes down?
I'm gonna have to give a rare Jewish W for Laura Loomer. I mean, I really fucking despise Laura Loomer. She tries to blend in the America First nationalist talk, where she's been around for years on the side of the far right. They've always considered her far right when, you know, she's really not. But I do agree. America is a white country. I mean, it is historically, it is culturally. However, it is a black and white nation, and it should maintain that identity in existence. Black and white Americans have made this country into what it is. We have prospered together. There is of course, not a wonderful history, but our unity together. When we work together, we can go to the stars, and we've done that in many cases. So that's where my focus is. I'm not going to cry about the past events or anything. I'm looking forward to what white and black Americans can do together in order to go beyond our current standing. So this whole America's a melting pot is a Jewish lie that was told by many politicians in the 1960s, 1965, Hart-Celler Immigration Act, 1965, and so on. Great Society. This is what killed America. America's not a melting pot. We don't need diversity.
Are you fucking retarded, or are you retarded?
We don't need diversity.
A
I know the Italians are going to get mad at that.
Point?
I know that the Italians are going to get really mad. I know the Italians are going to get very mad, but he won't sit back. He's going to chimp out now. He's going to chimp out now, but he doesn't understand anything about history, about the sacrifice that many Americans have made into this country. We cannot continue as a nation.
Let's talk about my Irish side.
We cannot continue as a civilizational state.
Well, that's Irish Italian side that built fucking New York.
Okay, we can talk about the potatoes and the spaghetti. We can talk about it together. Do you eat that separately, or do you segregate that as well? Anyway, when we're looking at America and where we need to go as a civilizational power, all this diversity when it comes to how many states we have in this country, I don't think we should have 50 states. I think it's too much diversity in terms of the states. I think it is only for black and white Americans.
I wish
Native Americans and historical Hispanic population has always been within the. Okay, here it goes.
I don't give a fuck.
The SpaghettiOs
I don't care.
SpaghettiOs are cold. SpaghettiOs Can we get Campbell's in here? Campbell's.
Most retarded
One of your
person
guys
I've
is
ever met in
shipping
my
out.
entire life.
Can we get a
Holy
menu?
fuck.
Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. The salad's
Spit a
getting
fucking
cold
back
anyway.
for once instead of talking
Here
out
we
your
go.
ass.
Here
Like,
we go.
Jesus.
Okay. Okay.
Yo,
Mussolini's
Nazis,
done
please come
shipping
back.
out.
Take him
Maybe
first.
maybe
Please, take him first.
Mussolini will help out on the Eastern Front. I guess he
Okay,
won't.
all right,
Italians will do
okay,
anyway.
okay,
I just
all
want to
right.
get back to saying my point. But okay. He's
Okay,
gonna jump out.
okay.
Here we go.
Kimberly,
You are the
as my
dumbest
fellow,
fucking person ever. Holy fuck.
Here we go.
I
He's shipping
thought
out so much.
the fucking liberals I talked to were
Why are
dumb
you
until I
shipping
met
out?
you.
The Jew dick
Holy
suckers
shit.
shipping out. It's sad to see Italians fall this
Jew
low.
dick
I'm telling you
suckers.
that.
Hold on, that's all you have is
It's so sad to see Italians falling this low.
This is why you,
I have
SBT,
insults.
are in the same fucking level. You're both fucking retarded.
I actually beat SBT. Actually, SBT couldn't even hold up with me. He was a fucking moron. What are you talking
Neither of
about?
you talk
Enzo,
facts.
I'm higher than you. I do better than you, buddy. Don't sit back and try
Higher
to
than me
come
in
at me. Know your
higher than me
place,
in what?
buddy.
In fucking
Know
drugs?
your place, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're probably higher
SBT.
than me
You
because
can
of
keep up
drugs
with
are
me,
wrong.
buddy.
The
Sit
shit that
down
comes
there at
out
the
your
bottom.
mouth.
Anyway,
Sit down.
you just don't like what I'm saying because you're a Jewish. Here's the thing. Let me just say this real fast. Let me just say this real fast. Let me say this real fast. Let me say this real fast. When you can get on my level in terms of notoriety, we get on my level and people respect that people have for me, then we can talk, Enzo. But until then, sit down there. I'm really tired of you ankle biting. I'm really tired of you ankle biting, Enzo. I'm gonna go there, and I hate to go there. I hate to go.
Your account get taken because you're an ignorant fuck.
Okay, enough. I've had enough. I've heard enough tonight.
I thought that was fun.
Kimberly,
It
I'm going
was
to let
very
you
fun.
be the final voice before we have final voice. As my fellow first generation American, do you think this is a melting pot? Why or why not?
Yeah, why is it not a melt? I don't understand. People come here, a lot of different races. We're intermingling, we're interbreeding. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. But yeah, we are a melting pot. Immigrants make America great. I love immigrants. I'm an immigrant. Under Andre's America, I wouldn't even be allowed to be here, but I could probably get by because I look white. So that's fine. I guess I'll take that pass. But no, yeah, America is a melting pot. And I think America...
Just don't talk, Kimberly. When you open your mouth, they'll know.
What happened?
Don't talk. When you open your mouth, they'll know.
That I'm an immigrant? Oh.
Yeah,
we hear the
have
accent.
like a California Mexican accent.
I could tell from a mile away.
Just
Yeah,
a
we could
little
tell.
bit.
Yeah, I don't have an accent.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, girl. Yes, you do. I'm sorry, boo.
You do.
I'm sorry,
I'm
Kim.
just
You
kidding.
do.
I've been born white from the beginning. I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
We
I'm
all
just
have
kidding.
accents, but yeah.
But yeah, so what makes this country so great, the greatest country on the earth, is why I don't live in Mexico and why I live here, is that it creates opportunities for everybody, regardless of, you can work your way up through class and you can work your way up regardless of your race or your gender. There are limitations, there are setbacks, there is sexism, there is racism systemically, but overall, this country, the people that make this country great are diverse, a pluralistic, multinational, multilinguistic country. It's beautiful to see. It's diversity, inclusivity. It's what Jesus would have wanted.
Well, we're going to end with some super chats. As a heritage American, what I've seen is an attempt to include other heritage Americans, which was the first inclusion of Blacks and NA Indians. Kitty Daddy said, YouTube won't let me share my opinion. Love you, Andre. We came here not to be enveloped in Europe's wars. Protestant for life. So, Kitty Daddy, thank you. I'm sure Andre appreciates you. Let's start with doing some closing thoughts. Mia, ladies first, what's your closing thoughts?
I think as a country, we need to get back into being America first. We need to remember at the end of the day, the president doesn't control this country. He is just merely a puppet for the elite ruling class. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you simp for. You will never get into the club because none of us are elites and none of us are part of the ruling class. So that alone should unite us. And for what's coming in the future, we need to be united and on the same page. So everybody needs to remember we're all the have-nots, and let's band together under that banner, because it's always going to be us versus them.
Beautifully said. Where can they find you, Mia? I know you're trying to grow your Insta.
So you can find me on Instagram at It's Mia Not Maya, and you can also find me on TikTok as well, and X too.
Please go follow Mia. And Kimberly. Here we go, Kimberly. You're up again. What's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are these are some crazy times. War is bad. War is always bad. Full stop. When it comes to our internal policy and our domestic policy, inclusivity, acceptance, and love is always the answer. And I just wanted to say really quickly, shout out to all my friends out in Western Asia. There's a lot going on there. My heart goes out to everybody, all the troops out there, all the Americans, everybody that has been put in danger, all at the cost of just these ruling elites who want more and more and more, who are not going to be affected if we're blown up to smithereens because, like I said, they own trillion-dollar bunkers in underground cities, so they'll be fine. They're playing with us and with our lives, and it's important to read until you're exhausted, and read everything until you have nothing left to read and you've done all the hard work. Once you've read everything there is to read, then that was the hard part. The easiest part is to just go with your intuition, and I truly believe that per the laws of the universe, we are all really connected with a greater humanity, and we just all need to be a little bit more loving and accepting with one another. And also, you guys could follow me on, I made a YouTube account. I haven't made much content, but I'm Kimberly Annell on all the platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, please.
Yes, please go follow Kimberly. Enzo, my dear, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are, this is why education needs to be pushed more in this fucking country. You got people that have a voice that think they're doing something with a following, but they don't know anything. They don't know basic history. They don't know anything about this fucking country. I pray for the day that for the white supremacists and the Nazis to come back and take over this country and literally just fucking kill these people that are advocating for them, because they don't even know what they're advocating for their own fucking demise. This is salt for slugs at this point. You're fucking retarded. I got no respect for fucking people who breed division and breed hatred in this fucking in this country, and you should not have a fucking voice whatsoever, and I'll stand 10 toes on that. You're a fake ass person. You're a follower of Nick Fuentes, and again, you're a fucking I'm straight up, you're just a hypocrite at the end of the day, and everything you stand for. You stand for nothing, so you'll fall for everything. And that's all I got to say.
Enzo, let everybody know where they can find you. Are you going live after this?
Oh, yeah, live.
You'll be live? Okay. Oh. Andre, what's your closing thoughts?
Oh, my God. Mario's mad. Someone need to go call Luigi. The pipes must be fucked up because he's getting fucked over here. Listen, this country is not a melting pot. That's what's killing it. Diversity is not our strength. It's our unity behind the identity of being an American. Our purpose as being Americans is what has built this country into what it is. People give up their identity and blend into the society. They assimilate. That's what made this country great. To be Italian, to be Irish, maybe even some of the Africans that have come over here. In order for our civilizational state to survive, we have to look at who we are, what we're going to be, and who comprises of this American civilizational state. It's not Indians. It's not Arabs. It's not people from fucking Tijuana. It's none of that shit. It's black and white Americans who've been here for centuries, and those who will give up their identity from the countries they're coming from and will subscribe into this way of life. It takes 3 generations to make an American. You just don't become an American by liking Grey's Anatomy and fucking SpongeBob. It's not how it works. So we have to call this out. This entire push for multiculturalism, it's killing black people. It's definitely killing white people. White people are dying because of it. This suicidal empathy is killing them. That's why they're pushovers now in this country. And black people are not aware of the big problem that they've been lied to and sold this illusion that we have to get along with everyone that comes through the door, and it's not working for us. So we want Americans who've been here for generations to serve the interests of this country, of this civilizational state. And Italians can be mad, the Irish can be mad, whatever spaghetti-o potato he wants to eat in the morning, he can be mad. I really don't give a damn. We're still going very far. And like I said, these people love me when I talk about black people. But the moment I tell them I'm not your typical black conservative, I'm not your typical black Republican, I am America first, and I've been doing that long before anyone else came along. I grew up in a household that instilled these values. I grew up with generations of Black Americans who've served this country, who've instilled these values. They don't know what to do with me, so they'll sit back and say I'm a follower of someone. Nobody in my blood has ever followed anyone. I come from a family of leaders. We've served in many generations of service members. My grandfather, 44 years in the Navy, laid 800 people in Desert Storm. Served very hard and very honestly. So you want to sit back and call me a follower, check the record. I served and I continue to lead other people, and people continue to respect me for what I say. So I really don't have to explain anything to Maury over there. He can call Luigi and they can figure something out with the plumbing company. But other than that, that's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Andre. Andre, where can they find you? I know you've lost a few of your socials.
I know, right? When you're controversial, you say things that are not acceptable for the social media platforms, especially when you start talking to certain people with noses, they ban you. You can find me at Andre Williams USA 1. That's the new Instagram that we're using. We still have the old one. And also find me on Twitter at Andre Williams US. There you go.
Thank you, Andre. Ray, what's your closing thoughts?
Last Thursday we had all women on here and me talking about politics, and one of the people we had on here is Ratchet Christian, who was displaced by war. Nora, what country is she from?
Sierra Leone.
So we had someone on this podcast displaced by war. We're talking about people being displaced by war. So literally when you have war, people are displaced and have to go to other countries. If we're upset about people coming into America, most of the people come here are displaced because of economic reasons and because of war. So we don't want people here, then we probably shouldn't be creating war. Like we always say on a new party, always vote.
We have a super chat. Somebody said to serve means you're following your orders. What are you talking about, Andre? Do you want to respond?
What the fuck is he talking about? What is he talking about? Like, what does that pertain to anything that we've said? That's a fuck. What is he even talking about? Like, in regards to what? You're going to follow orders. That's something you take an oath for. Great. You can speak to this as well. You swear an oath and you have people appointed above you, and you're going to follow it to the letter. But you can have your opinions of it. The thing is that, just don't display that opinion when you're in uniform and, you've taken an oath and, you're subscribed to a contract. That is what it is. But I really don't know what the fuck he's talking about at all. I don't know where that came from.
Thank you for the super chat. And shout out to our new party team, Kimberly, Andre, Enzo, Mia, Gray. Shout out to everybody. It was a good discussion. And I know it's hard to listen to, guys. I know Andre is a straight shooter. He gives it to you very, very straight. But these conversations are very important. I don't believe in censorship. I don't believe in telling Andre how to speak, as long as he's not using any type of racist terms for us to use our page. He's going to speak and say what he feels because his voice is important. Kimberly's voice is important. Gray's voice is important. Enzo's voice is important. Mia's voice is important. No one's voice is more important than others, in my opinion, as long as we're all Americans and we're all here trying to fight for a better America. But as Christians, we cannot continue to look away, guys, from the suffering of innocent people in Lebanon. Right now, hundreds of thousands of families have been displaced. Among them include the oldest Christian communities of the world. And scripture reminds us, Hebrews 13:3, to remember those in prison as if you were together with them, and those who are mistreated as if you yourselves were suffering. I think we need to remember that, guys. People are suffering around the world. I know it sounds base to say, yeah, let's nuke them all, let's destroy them. But these are people, there are children there. So we need to keep that in the back of our heads when we're cheering for war, especially when we're cheering for war in the Middle East, because there are Christians being affected by this war, not just Muslims. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Muslims for whatever reason. That's your business. But we need to be praying for peace in this country, praying for peace in the world. And we also need to allow people to have their ideals be honored and supported. Joe Kent is an American hero. I would rather he step away than he cause harm to the government. He did the right thing by stepping away. He didn't compromise his beliefs. In a political world where many bend to pressure, it takes courage to stand firm and stand up and say, hey, I don't want no parts in this. So shout out to him. I pray more people stand up in their ideals and convictions. So let's remember two things, guys: compassion and conviction. Compassion for those suffering around the world, and conviction to stand for those who fight in what they believe in. Pray for Lebanon, pray for peace, pray for America. God bless and stay safe, everyone.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an act of genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to Pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.